All right, Mastermind with Neil Schwartz and our very special guest today, Eddie Oberoi. Eddie, welcome. Woo!
Thank
All
you, sir.
right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Always a
Good.
pleasure.
Oh, Eddie, the pleasure's ours. We had an opportunity to speak a little bit at the Superstar Retreat and talk about what was going on. You shared your book with me, Wake the F Up. It's a great book. I recommend it highly, highly, highly. We'll talk more about that later. But what I wanted to do is let's take a couple minutes. Eddie, we've interviewed you once before. Oh my gosh, way back when COVID started. I think we were into it a couple of months.
Yep.
And we got introduced at that time about the great things that you were working on and kind of your story, so to speak, as an immigrant coming to America, not knowing the language, not knowing anyone, and kind of, exploding in the marketplace. And then the marketplace kind of exploded you for a little bit. So if you give us a little Reader's Digest of what happened in those early years, and then we'll talk more about today and maybe the mindset and skills that you had to develop to explode.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and so I'll try to make this long story short. I was born in India. I came to the US in 1991. I was 16 years old, and I could not speak the language. My brother had a restaurant, and he wasn't very wealthy, and so as soon as I landed in Salt Lake City, it was March 19th, 1991. We land at midnight. We hang out for a little bit. My brother wakes me up at 7 a.m. He's like, let's go to work. I'm like, work? I'm like, yeah, we have to pay some bills. So he made me work in this restaurant for like 3 months in a row, not even a day off. Not even a day off. And in fact, I did not even go to Walmart or Safeway or anything. It was just like, get up, go to work from 7:30 till 11, go to sleep, do it again. Did it for 90 days. And I hated him at that point, but that was like the best gift he could have given me. You know what I mean? Because what it did, it made me a hard worker. Okay, it's like a boot camp. It made me a hard worker. But the story is, I was very insecure. I was bullied when I was in India. Even here, I was 16, didn't speak the language. People called me ugly, dumb. I remember people would ask me for a ranch dressing for their salad, and I would give them blue cheese. And I remember one customer was like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's not, this is blue cheese. I'm like, so those kind of things, I was talking to Neil, stuff stays with you. The comments stick with you. So you got to be very careful how you communicate with your kids and your teenagers. So anyway, so I was pissed. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I would be mopping the floors, cleaning the toilets, flipping burgers. And I would see other teenagers, because there was a high school nearby. They'll come on dates, beautiful girls and guys hanging out, having their fucking burgers and shakes. And I was pissed. I got pissed. I was like, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. And it brought so much anger inside of me. It built up so much fire in my belly that I told myself, hey, I'm going to get out of this. And one thing that happened, I was telling Neil that I would go home at night, I would turn the TV on. There was nothing on late at night. This is 1991, but there would be Anthony Robbins infomercials popping up all night long.
All night long.
Yeah, I was drawn to that. I was like glued to him. Like, holy shit, I like this guy. And, I somehow saved $100 and I bought his CDs and tapes. And that's where my self-development journey started. And again, long story short, I told myself, I'm going to learn the language. I'm going to speak the language. I'm going to become a public speaker. I'm going to do big things. And I moved to California in 1997 and got in the business in 1999. And there are so many other layers to the story, but that's pretty much it, you know. So it's been a journey of self-development. And when I tell you that story about working in a restaurant and being pissed, it's still that fire in my belly is still there because I can feel it, you know. And I'm so thankful to my brother because if he was like, oh, you know what, you just moved to this country, let me get you a therapist, let me get you a little a tutor, let me get you,
Right.
like when things are handed to you, I don't think I would be the person that I am today,
Oh,
so
I think that's great, Eddie. There's more to that story
Mhm.
that I've heard from you and had snippets of it from your book, and that is that you started to rise from the streets, so to speak, and learn English and learn how to get into do some mortgages. And the mortgage opportunities were at the time, this was from 99 to 2006, 2007, you built a mortgage company in that period of time, right?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Mhm.
put together a lot of stuff and had a decent amount of people working for you.
Yeah, I had over 100 agents working in my brokerage. We did really well. We did extremely well. I mean, there was a bank called World Savings Bank back in the day, and there was a quarter where we were their number one broker in the United States. We gave them more business than any other brokerage. It was just one quarter, but it felt good. Like, oh my gosh. So we did really well in that market. But at the same time, Neil, that was a crazy market. Anybody could have done well with a little bit
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much breathe on the
Yeah,
on a mirror and you got a loan.
you got a loan. Yep. It was
Yeah.
insane. And
And
then when
then
2007 happened,
go
I
ahead.
actually I was depressed. I was bankrupt. I remember my son being 2-3 months old, and I had to let go of my property, short sale. I had to move out of the area. I got into a little depression. I started drinking every day for a few months. Like every day I would get up at 10 in the morning. I'll just stay in bed. And then I ran into there's so many stories, but bottom line is I ran into a book, The Miracle Morning. And I just snapped out of it. I'm like, dude, I cannot stay here. I gotta snap out of it. And I started doing that morning routine.
Right.
And it just worked. It just worked, And now I think looking back, it's really easy to see me like drifting away with that depression, just kind of, and it happens to a lot of human beings, right? You get into a depression, then you start gaining weight, you get out of shape, your mind is messed up, and then you just stay there for the rest of your life, right? That could have been me. But
and the truth is, and a lot of the reason I wanted to have this conversation with you today is to make sure that we get this message across to our people, everyone in the mastermind group, because there are days where we feel like that. There are weeks and months where we go like that. The market has shifted. We're certainly not in 2006, 7, and 8, but a lot of agents had kind of figured out the last market,
That's right.
what was going on. And then, well, like in your case, in 22, you did $3.5 million in commission income in 22, but 23, because the market's a little different, you're going to fall short, just short of probably $3 million.
Yeah.
So you're off $500,000. We should feel bad for you, but not that bad, right? But that comes from your work ethic. It comes from your focus. It comes from your consistency. It comes from, look, you fell off. You clearly fell off and then restarted yourself.
Yeah.
In a new organization. I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier about this. You were building a team, and you had a good sized team. What, 100 agents or so?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and doing mortgages at that time, right?
Yep.
But you had to wake up every morning and motivate them.
Yes. So what happened was in 2007 and 8, um, obviously when the market shifts, people, they take off because it's not easy to make money anymore, right?
Right.
So I saw 90% of my sales force was gone, right? I mean, it was tough times, like everybody was struggling. So the people that I had, like 10 people, I was like, hey guys, let's go, let's rock and roll. And I would try to motivate them, but there wasn't much action. I would show up to work every morning. I tried everything. It didn't work. So I was like, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and I'm just gonna work for a company and I'm gonna start from scratch.
Okay.
Right. That's what I did. And that's what
Well,
I did.
that in itself takes a lot of guts and a lot of personal fortitude to start over and do it yourself.
Do it myself. Because it was really easy. Even during those times, I was still making a couple $100,000 a year, running my team, running my little shop. But I knew that wasn't it. I wasn't happy,
Okay.
So I knew there was I did not feel that personal growth. So I was like, okay, I have to stop this. So yeah, I started from scratch. I joined a company, Intero, and then yeah, it's been 11 years now. Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations. So in the beginning, in the restart, what did you do? I mean, what did you, okay, you had the mindset that put you on track, but a lot of our agents are either restarting or they're new agents, which is kind of the same thing, I guess, as you would look at it. But what did you do? I mean, doors, phones, expireds, just listed, just sold.
Yeah. So one thing about me, going back to the story about having work ethics, I don't think I'm very smart personally, but where I can do better than most people is there are times when I come to this office at 7 in the morning and I'll stay here till 9 p.m. 14 hours just prospecting or working or going on appointments. So I know I have it, I can work. That's one thing. So what I did was I basically just put my head down because I couldn't afford to, mess up even for a day, or that would mean get a job. And there's no way I was going to get a job. I mean, that was not it was in the back of my mind. Oh my gosh, I hope this works. Otherwise I'll have to get a job. So bottom line was, give me 1 second. Sorry. Sorry, somebody was knocking on the door. All right. So basically what I did was I just worked. And thankfully I ran into Mike Ferry, and then that was again like Anthony Robbins was like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? It's like God, you know what I mean? So, and he was talking about, getting up, prospecting, script practice. So I started doing all that, and it did take me, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And I did everything. I mean, I would.
Well, when you say it wasn't easy, I'm sorry, but I think that's an important point. It wasn't easy. It isn't easy. But for you to get back at high production, those are the steps you needed to take, correct?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So the reason why I wrote this book was because I started attracting some team members. They wanted to work with me, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, guys, you speak the language. You were born here. All you got to do is just put your head down and work. And that's why I wrote the book. So going back to your question, like when I train my team and I tell them, hey, if you come in here an hour a day, 2 hours a day, you prospecting 2-3 hours, you do an open house here and there, it's not going to work. You may get lucky here and there, not going to work. I remember when I, joined Mike Ferry, and in the beginning, I remember I would sit down for 3 hours in a row and I would not even get up for taking a piss. Because that's what we see, I see a lot of, because when you work at Bank of America or Apple, if you're a teller or if you're whatever, you cannot just get up and do whatever you want. Oh, let's go get some coffee. Oh, let's go take a shit. Let's go do this. You have to wait. You know what I mean? So I was so strict with myself. I'm like, dude, from 8 to 11, I'm going to lock myself in this room and I'm going to prospect. I did that in the morning, in the evening. So good 7 to 8 hours of like prospecting, like hardcore prospecting, no breaks, no nothing. Right.
Wow.
And that's what I share with my team as well, guys. I mean, if you come in here a couple hours here and there, like then you hear stuff like, oh, my market is shit, the rates are high, nobody wants to buy, nobody wants to sell. I've been hearing that ever since 1999. I mean, that's very common, even during the years when 2003, 4, 5, when things were great. And same thing happened in 2000. Last 8, 9 years have been great, but there are always agents complaining, oh, it's tight, there's multiple offers. Well, things are always tough, and this is where you just have to work. That's it. There's no magic formula, there's no magic wand, there's no magic pill. It's a numbers game, right? That's it.
Okay. But Eddie, it's like, but Mike, but Eddie, um, um, there has to be something special about you. There's something that's in you that isn't in some other agents, because they've had the same difficulties as you've had, maybe even more difficult. They need to make a living. They need to make house payments and car payments and kid school payments, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody needs to make whatever it is they're set up. You're doing it. You've been knocked down big time twice, and yet you got back up and are doing it again. What's the difference? You lead agents. What's the difference?
Okay, well, I love using the example of health and fitness. Okay, so Neil, now unless you have any major health issues, most of us, if we have a coach and if we have the right system in place, we can become a fitness model in 6 months. All of us. Period.
Okay.
No matter what kind of shape you're in, within 6 months, you can have the fitness model type body, and it's doable. Human beings are capable of that. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I would.
Period.
I'd never thought about that before, but yeah, in 6 months, if you did your job, yeah, absolutely.
You can, obviously you will have to spend a couple hours a day in the gym. You're going to have to watch what you're eating, right? You're going to have to quit alcohol and shit, right? For 6 months, but you can be in top-notch shape, period, right? There are no arguments, unless, like I said, unless you have any major health issues. That's the bottom line. Do you believe in that? Yes, great. Same thing in this business, right? If you commit to working your ass off, all you do is sleep, work, sleep, work. If you do that for next 6 months, things are going to change dramatically. Now, not everybody wants to be a GOAT, right? Not everybody wants to be a Michael Jordan of this company. I don't, like, at this point of my life, I don't, like I was telling Neil, I'm in a different zone right now. All I want to do is come to work, follow my schedule, do what I have to do, and go home. Not being attached to if I'm number 1, number 3, I don't give a shit. I just want, because I'm at a point where I want to enjoy my life. I've gone through lots of ups and downs, but I'm in a good position right now, even though the market is tough, but I'm doing well. So I have different goals, right? But there was a point when I was like, no, I'm gonna, all I did was work. No partying, no hanging out, no nothing. And this is what I tell my team as well. If you're struggling, give up your friends, give up everything for a few months. And the funny thing is, we don't need a lot to live on. You can go to Costco, spend $200 on ramen noodles, buy some cheap stuff, and get some water, and that's all you need, baby. So the question arises, do you want to be a fitness model? Okay, that's fine. You don't want to be a fitness model. Do you really want to make money? Well, then it comes to a question. Are you interested or are you committed? Because if you're interested in getting in good shape, you will drink water when you feel like it. You will eat chicken breast when you feel like it. You will go to the gym when you feel like it. But there are days when you have a little headache. You're like, oh, forget it. But when you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes. Same thing with this work, right? Like, are you committed, or is it a hobby? You're interested. Hey, you know what? Let's just get a realist license. But it's not easy, Neil. I mean, you and I have seen, obviously you've had more experience than I have, but in 24 years, I mean, we've never arrived in this business. Never. Things are always changing. So what I would say is, yeah, you got to work hard. And at the same time, like Mike Ferry says, have fun. Have fun doing it. It's not that big of a deal, guys. We make it a big deal. But talking to people, making some contacts, going on listing appointments, not being attached. I think that's the recipe right there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I feel the intensity. I feel the focus, the excitement, the enthusiasm. So right now, what are you teaching your team to do to get business? You got a newer agent. They have some skills. They can write a contract. They can talk. I mean, like you said, in many cases, they speak the common language. But even the agents that I almost feel that sometimes agents that don't speak the common language have a better opportunity than the ones that do, because they have to put in a little bit more effort. What's your thought on that?
Well, I call that an immigrant mentality, right?
Okay.
They're immigrants and they're like, let's go. I see an opportunity, I'm going to go for it.
Right.
So I think with my team, what I'm doing is basically I have these meetings every day with them. And again, Neil, you and I, we both know that not everybody's gonna do what they say they're gonna do. It's a fact, right? I mean,
Right.
everybody wants to be millionaire and have a sexy body, but then, okay, are you willing to do the things that you need to do, right? But so I have about, like 5 full-timers and 5 part-timers. Majority of them, they'll be like, yeah, okay, Eddie, I'll work hard. But I would say half of them are just kind of going through emotions. But the other half, they're showing up. They're at the office at 7 a.m. I just had a quick meeting with them before joining this call. They're prospecting, they're scheduling appointments. I'm going on appointments. And I tell them, your job is, as a salesperson, not to write a because the way I have set up my team, I have somebody who writes contracts, who does the marketing, listing. So all I want them to do is just sell. Because when you're prospecting, you're making, $500,000, $2,000 an hour. When you're writing a contract, you're making $20 an hour. So I tell them every single day, we have only one job. Keep it simple. Our job is to schedule one qualified appointment, be it a buyer or a seller. One qualified, either buyer's consultation or listing appointment. That's your job, period. Forget about the rest. It doesn't matter if you have 5 in escrow, 10 in escrow, 20, it doesn't matter. Because if you forget your job, you're going to be in a slump in 3 months.
Right.
Job every day, schedule an appointment. That's your job, period. I think it'll solve everything, all the issues, all the minutia that we go through. Just one. It doesn't matter, buyer or a seller. So that's what
Great.
they do.
So that's their job, is to go set an appointment, buyer or seller.
Yep.
That's their job on a daily basis. Just listed. Which of those are getting you the best results? Expireds for sale by owners, just listed, just sold, circle marketing, doors, phones.
I would say the majority of my business comes from my COI.
Okay.
Lots of referrals, 60, 70%. But then we're getting a lot of, just listed, just sold, expireds. We call them for sale by owners, probate sales, door knocking a little bit. So farming as well. Stuff like that. And I'm super I know Mike Ferry is against social media for the right reasons, because what happens is people get so addicted to social media, and it should be the other way around. It's there for your benefit, not for you to get sucked into it and wasting your time, right? So what I like about social media is it's free. So all your buyers and sellers, they need to be on your LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. period. And then you need to let them know. The beautiful thing about social media is you're not calling them every day, hey, do you have referral? Do you have referral? Do you have referral? But they see you. 80% of the people will not pick up their phone, but they will go on social media, but they see you. And I'm every day, they see my video, they see something happening. So I think it's a great way to connect. That's just one of the ways.
Sure.
But yeah, all those things that we learned from Mike, basically just listen, just sold calls. I'm big on open houses as well, especially the new people who are coming in. It's a
Okay.
good way to, in the beginning, you got to make all kinds of mistakes. You have to learn how to work with buyers. You need to learn how to work with sellers and open houses, door knocking, calling. You got to do it all. But I think eventually you'll figure out what your superpower is. Like everybody has a superpower, right? Some people are good on the phone. Some people are good at open houses. Some people are good at networking. Some people are good at socializing. But once you get to your superpower, you need to learn how to play the game, the whole game first.
What's your superpower, Eddie?
My superpower, I believe, is connecting with people.
Interesting. Tell me more.
And that's what I want. I want to be authentic. I want to have fun now. I think I've been working since I was 16. I'm 48, 32 years and it's been work. It's not like 40 hours here and there. It's been like 60 to 90 hours. And, and during that time, I got my MBA, I got my college degree and working so I'm not willing to work 80, 90 hours a week anymore. You know what I mean? But my superpower right now is I feel is having these genuine relationships. I read a quote somewhere. It's not about your net worth, it's about your network, right? So what I'm doing right now is slowly but surely I'm expanding my network, and the funny thing is about this business, if you can have, let's say, 200 people in your COI and they're your fans, they're like, Neil, we love you, we support you, you'll never have to worry about making money because you'll do at least 20 transactions a year. If you live in California or wherever, 20, 30 transactions a year is a lot of money, right? And I'm being very modest right now. But if you take that number to 500, 1,000, game over. You don't need to even do, because we know through Mike Ferry organization, there are people out there, they just have huge COIs and they're doing 200 deals a year. So I think, so my superpower, I think, is connecting with people. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of expanding it slowly and I'm having fun. And that's important to me. So
that's great. You're in a totally different spot today than you were 3 years ago.
How so?
Well, from more of an intensity, there's a calmness about you. Okay.
Yes.
That there's a calmness, but as I think I mentioned to you earlier, money begets money. Money attracts money, and you've attracted a ton of money and make a great amount of money. I mean, for the average bear, for the average immigrant, and I suspect that you've taken some of that money and done some nice things for your family, like the brother that beat you like a dog when you came here, right?
He didn't beat me, but yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, I am a huge fan about philanthropy. I love to give back. And I think that's something you just have to become the person you want to attract. So guess what? If you're stingy, you're going to attract stingy clients.
Right.
Okay? If you're late all the time, you're going to attract flaky clients. If you're not honest, guess what? You're going to attract clients who are not honest. So what you need to do, again, I'm big on these books and, a law of attraction. So I really feel that you need to become the person you want to attract. And once
that's great. That's a great thought.
Yeah. Once you pay your dues, because you have to go through ups and downs and you do this for good 5-10 years, and then you can be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to decide who I want to work with now. But in the beginning, you have to work with everyone because that's how you're going to grow. Right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Are you open to take a few questions right now, Eddie?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Questions for Eddie. All right, let's open it up. Jump in, ask your question, raise your hand. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Eddie, it was a pleasure listening to you. So I have a question. It might be a stupid question because you might have already answered it, but are you still prospecting every day? Your 7 hours? I know you said you pulled back a little bit, but are you still prospecting, are you still door knocking? Are you doing expires for sale
Yeah.
or stuff like
So
that?
this
Or
is
have
what
you
I'm
kind of peeled back a little bit?
Yeah, so this is what I'm doing right now. Since I have like 5 full-timers working with me, they're keeping me very busy because they will prospect, they'll bring the warm leads. So usually I'm busy every day. I have at least 2 appointments, 1 to 2 appointments a day, and then I'm doing a lot of lead follow-up with them. So I am prospecting, but it's a different kind of prospecting now because I am calling their warm leads.
Sure.
Right? Or sometimes they get stuck with let's say even they're cold calling and they're calling an expired, they get stuck. I'll grab the phone and I'll talk to them. So I'm doing more of that. Yeah.
But you're there working with them most of the day.
Yeah, I'm there working with them. I'm prospecting, but it's like, so I got a team behind me. They're making the calls. They run into any issues. Okay, let's go. Schedule an appointment. Yeah.
Right. Got it. And then you'll take the ball and run with it.
Yep.
And
Couple
they
more
learn
questions,
from them. Go ahead. Come on.
In the beginning, you restarted in 2007, you said, correct?
So let's say 2007, 8, that thing happened. Then I got into short sales because short sale, remember back in the day, because since I had the mortgage background, it was easy transition short sales. And that short sale market evaporated 2011, 12. That's when I joined Berkshire Hathaway in Terrell. So
Okay.
yeah, about 11, 12 years ago. Yeah.
How many properties were you previewing, in about 2012, 2013? Because I mean, Neil always pushes me to preview properties. So I'm just curious, were you previewing a lot? Did you know a lot about your inventory? I'm assuming you did, but
You know what? I just, let's see, previewing. I don't think I previewed as many properties as I should have, right? I was just really, I was just doing a lot of, so Monday through Friday, I would be prospecting. And I would preview, I know we have a, brokerage, and I would preview like every week here and there, but I wasn't as consistent, but I was consistent with prospecting, weekdays and weekends, open houses, 7 days a week. So I did that for years.
awesome, Eddie. Thank
Hey, Eddie,
Yes,
you're in San Jose?
I am.
I'm in San Jose. Where's your office by? I'm by Prune Yard in San Carlos. I was just saying, I
That's
can't think of
awesome,
a
man.
question. I can't think of a question, but I was thinking maybe I could just drop by when I think of one.
Absolutely, man. You can, message me. I'm in Los Altos right now.
Los Altos, okay. Yeah, I'm by the Prune Yard on San Carlos next to Santana Row.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, we're right here. Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So your office is in Los Altos. All right. I
Yeah.
can't think of anything right now, but if I do, maybe I could just drop by and
Just
ask
look
you.
me up and message me. Yeah.
All right.
Eddie,
Cool.
All right, go
I have a
ahead,
question too.
Tiffany.
Yes, I have a question, Eddie. You said that you prospect 6 to 7 hours or 8, 10 hours a day. How many contacts did you typically hit? What was your contact goals per day?
So, and this is a great question, by the way. In the beginning, I was like all about contacts. Oh, I gotta make my 50, 100 contacts. I was like so caught up with that. But then I learned from somebody, like, make it about appointments. Don't be so caught up with I have to, because your goal is not to, let's say the universe will give you what you ask for. I want to make 50 contacts. Boom, here you go. But you're like, hey, universe, I want 2 appointments. Boom, here you go. You know what I mean? So you gotta put it out there. So what I did was, on average, as you probably know, if you're prospecting, you'll make about 9 to 10 contacts an hour on average. That's just the bottom line, right? So I would make, on average, anywhere from 50 to 80 contacts a day. Yeah. But then I shifted my psyche, my mindset, like, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna be attached to contacts. I wanna have good conversations, because you don't want to be so caught up with contacts, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Because otherwise you'll be in a rush, so.
Well, I don't think you're wrong. I would say you're failing at a really high level, Eddie. All right. Lupe, you had your hand up?
Yes. Yes. Hi. I was just curious. You said that you were working like for 6 months straight, and your advice is to put it like 150%.
That's right.
How did that affect your personal life? Are you married? Your children?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
How did?
the way I look at it is, when you are dealing with your spouse or your kids, just like, Mike says that, you want to share your schedule, share your ideas, share your stuff with them so they know what to expect, right? I mean, we have soldiers out there who leave home for 6 months and they're in Afghanistan or whatever, and they prep their kids. Hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta protect this country, right? All we're doing is we're just prospecting and leaving the house for a little bit. So just let your spouse know, hey, honey, we're going through some tough times right now. I'm gonna take it easy, meaning I'm gonna get to work. I'm not hanging out with friends. So give me some time, give me 6 months. Okay. So that's the conversation I would have with your family and the kids, so they know that you're not abandoning them, you're just looking out for them. I think communication is huge, right? You want to communicate that. So that's what I did.
Great.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you.
Great question. Justin, you had a question?
Yes, sir. Eddie, thank you very much for everything you've shared today. And I apologize if I had missed it, but did anybody ask you about skill building? When you restarted your business again and really got out of short sales back into the regular residential market, how much role playing were you doing? What were you focusing on? I mean, what would you tell your agents to work on as far as that now?
That's such a great question. So I want to tell you a little story. So when I got in the mortgage business, I actually hated sales because I was working at Circuit City back in the day, which is kind of like Best Buy. And I did an internship and I was selling computers. And I was like, man, I hate sales. You have to kiss ass. I don't like this. I don't want to do it. I want to get into marketing. But the reason why I got into the mortgage business and real estate is because I met some friends and they started driving BMWs all of a sudden. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And we're in the mortgage business. I'm like, shit, I hate sales. And I was talking to myself, I hate it. I don't think I want to do it, but then I'm broke. I don't have any money. And these guys, I don't think they're any special. I have to give it a shot. That's what I told myself. So I gave myself 6 months. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to just work hard. And they told me to make calls. I made calls. And since I was making a lot of contacts, just took off. Anyway, to answer your question. So then I opened my own company. This is year 2002 or 3. I had my own company. And then I got a little complacent. I stopped prospecting. I stopped talking to clients. I was just managing my agents and writing checks. And then obviously 2007 happened. And I remember clearly I was going on my first appointment after years, 2-3 years. And I go to San Francisco. It was in San Francisco. And I remember that day I was sweating because I was so nervous. I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? I've been in the business for such a long time. And I've done well. Why am I so nervous? Well, I was nervous because I stopped prospecting. I stopped role playing. I stopped closing. And I remember going to that appointment, nervous. I failed it. I left my calculator over there. I couldn't wait to get out. I was shaky. And I got in my car and I'm like, dude, this is bullshit. And I promised myself, like, man, from now on, I'm gonna develop my skill, because I knew I could do it because I'd done it before. I'm like, I'm gonna work on my skill set, and I'm never, ever, ever gonna stop prospecting and role playing. So to answer your question, ever since then, I have amazing role play partners like Hal Swayze and DK and John Size of the world. Like, I got some top notch. Even Josh Barker was my role play partner for a while. So I've been just role playing. So every day, I mean, it's 5 days a week, I have a role play partner. And no matter, and these people inspire me because you know how it is, Neil. You see people like Hal and Neil Weichels, these guys are multimillionaires and they're role playing. They're like Eddie, give me your feedback. I mean, if these guys can do it and they're performing at a very high level, then it's a no-brainer. Gotta set role plays every day, 30 minutes a day, and that's what I do. And I'm never gonna quit. Doesn't matter what happens, because it makes me feel good when I you know how it is when you take a couple weeks off, you come back and you feel a little rusty. Kind of like working out, right? Let's say if you work out a lot, you don't work out for 2 weeks, you go to the gym, like, man, it's not the same.
You go to the gym and end up in the bar.
And everything, yeah. So you lose the edge, right?
Oh, totally.
You lose the
100%.
edge. So yeah, I would highly recommend role playing every day. Just keep polishing yourself.
Good story. Thank you. Eddie,
I have a question.
Gabby asked, other than the law of attraction, what are a couple of your favorite books?
Oh gosh. Couple of my favorite. That's a great question. Number one is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Love that book. And then Miracle Morning. There are a couple, these books I think changed my life. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. How to Make Friends and Influence Others. Yeah, these are my favorite books.
Perfect. Awesome stuff. Thank you. Tiffany had a question. Eddie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Eddie, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you've done for us.
You're welcome.
Wanted to ask you, as far as mindset, we've been hearing a lot about mindset. What is it in your mind that is like maybe an affirmation that you typically use daily basis to help get you to be working so hard and be on top of everything? What's that one liner that you kept on inputting in your mind?
Okay, so I think having routines is crucial, right? So no matter what happens the day before, how many deals got canceled, whatever happened, but when my alarm goes off in the morning, I'm like a robot. Like I know exactly what to do and where I'm at. I have 5:12, 5:15. I have these little rituals that I do. Like I'll make my bed as soon as I get up. I'll do my affirmations. And the funny thing is when you do that every day, it doesn't take that much time. It's just like brushing your teeth. But then you develop that callous mindset, like David Goggins talks about. And affirmations are huge. I'll tell you this. I've been writing down, Neil, you get my affirmations, right? You get my
every day.
Yeah.
Actually, twice a day.
Yeah. So I learned that from Grant Cardone. So he says, as soon as you get up in the morning, you write down your goals and affirmations. So that's you set your mind is a drunk monkey, right? You got to put a leash on it. So if it doesn't have any direction, it will be like, oh my gosh, rates are down. Oh my gosh, what's happening? It's just attracted to negativity, right? So you get up in the morning, you write down your goals, and you go to sleep with those thoughts as well. So usually I never skip. Like, doesn't matter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, I write down my goals in the morning and in the evening, and that helps me with my mindset. And I do something like this. I'll share with you my affirmations. Every morning I'll turn on cold shower, and I'll do these affirmations. So check this out. I'll say something like, this morning, I'm counting my blessings and feeling so grateful for such a beautiful life I'm blessed with. My beautiful family, friends, accountability partners, mentors, coaches, truly appreciate every single one of them. Just because of them, every day and every single way, I'm getting better and better. My business is not a hobby. It's not a fucking hobby. I'm going to think bigger. I'm going to act bigger. I'll provide the best possible lifestyle to my family, provide the best possible deals to my clients. I'll do that by attracting the right kind of people in life, put me on the right path, right track. They're going to help me become the best version of myself. They're going to help me become a father, better human being, better person, better realtor, better negotiator, better investor, better businessman, better leader. At the end of the day, I do intend to improve. Every little thing I do today will help me create these perfect end results. I'll become close friends with the movers and shakers of the world. I'll make a huge contribution in my community, many parts of the world. I'll make $8 million this year. I'll donate $250K this year. My net worth is going to be way over $100 million by December 31st, 27. I'm getting in the best shape of my life, six-pack, tone body, 10% body fat. Now I command the universe and my conscious, subconscious mind to give me health, knowledge, wisdom, passion, focus, humor, whatever the fuck it takes to make this day the most exciting, most profitable, most productive, the funnest day of my life. With that, I'm complete. And I learned that.
Oh yeah, amen, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it just wakes you up. And now, no matter what, because we all have our issues are not, just like Mike says, right? Our objections are not something new. Like, can you lower your commission? I want this much for my house. Same thing with our family. I mean, with our life issues. Everybody goes through health issues. Everybody goes through relationship challenges and dealing with the kids. It's nothing new. We all go through it, you know? So, but I think having some kind of routine, having some kind of, you know, some kind of rhythm in your life, I think it gets you right on track. So when I do that in the morning and it's the cold shower is running and I'm getting these goosebumps, I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go.
Love it. I love it. Eddie, Josie has a question.
Yes.
Your book, you said Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
David Goggins.
Spell it?
Goggins.
Okay, and you quoted him again to us. You said something, I can't remember what, but great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
no,
so
I think
much.
maybe callous mindset. He talks about callous mindset. Yeah.
The title of the book is Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I know. What is the name of your book?
Wake the F up. This is David Goggins. Can't hurt me. My book, yeah. Wait, just type in Eddie Oberoi in Amazon and it'll pop up.
Doesn't come on Zoom very well. Sorry.
It doesn't, yeah.
Good job. Okay. Somebody else had their hand up real quick.
I got one.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
Yeah, Eddie, thank you so much for being here today. Just to kind of piggyback a little bit more when you were saying that you made a transition from focusing on contacts to appointments. What did that look like? Did you change something? You obviously you asked for the appointment more, but did you do something else to help you shift that focus?
Yeah, good question. So I think what happens in the beginning, especially when we're learning the skill set, we're super tight where we have this anxiety, we may not be ourselves, and that's okay, that's normal. You have to go through it, just like learning an instrument or learning how to work out. I remember when I would be on the phone, my role play partners and my mentor, he would be like, Eddie, why can't you be on the phone and sound like you're talking to me? Because when you're on the phone, you sound kind of mechanical. You're not as warm. But when you're talking to me, I want to talk to you. So that's something stuck with me. I'm like, okay, so what he's saying is I just need to be myself, right? And that's something that'll come with experience, right? Because as you go through this journey, you're going to get better and better. And then there will come a point where when you internalize the scripts and you know exactly what to say, then you're not as stressed out, right? I think a lot of us get caught up because you're just thinking, oh my gosh, do I know all the answers? And the anxiety kicks in and then you're not yourself, right? And that's why scripts are important. So, but once you internalize everything, then you're like, hey, I throw anything at me. I got this, and then you can be your own self. And then people, I think we all, obviously all of us have superpowers and we have something to offer. If people can see that, if people can see the real you, I think it makes a huge difference.
Great
All right,
question.
thank you.
Good
Great.
answer. Thank you, Tyrone. Good stuff. All right, we
I have a
have.
question.
Go ahead, jump in, Kamal.
You said you have 5 on your team right now.
Yes.
Were they new agents or were they experienced agents or a little bit of both?
The funny thing is I have not approached one of these agents to join my team. One of them was a buyer, believe it or not. She had a license for 10 years and she didn't do anything. And I'm like, okay, well, why don't we work together? And first year she did 40 transactions with me. So that's one. I have 3 other guys. Their parents actually reached out to me like, hey, Eddie, can you help them get in the business? So I'm just kind of helping them. So yeah, but all these guys, yeah, they're basically new.
So since they're new, what 3 skills or what do you do when you first meet with them and promote 3 skills that might be crucial for their success in the future?
Yeah, great question. Number 1 is mindset. Okay, because mindset is huge. Just like Neil was saying, there are people out there who can't even speak properly, but they still end up doing really well because they have a really good mindset, right? So mindset is everything. 90% is mindset, And then 10%, I would say your communication, your 10% skill set, right? But enthusiasm will beat talent any day. So you can have a lot of talent, but if you have shitty mindset, and we see people like that, we see people who are like, oh my gosh, you should be killing it, but their mindset is not there. And then you see other people where you're like, how the heck is he doing so much business? Well, yeah, that's because of mindset. So yeah, so the top 3 things that I would tell them: number 1, mindset. That's why a book like this can't hurt me. Huge, right? Number 1 is mindset. Number 2 is skill set. Keep working on your skill set, because when you know what you're saying, you're not going to be fearful, right? And number 3, I would say, is routine, schedule.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. That sounds good. I had a quick question. How much are you expected to make this year?
I am expected to, I'm probably gonna gross 2.75 to 3 million. But I'll take
Oh my
home
gosh.
probably net, I'll probably half of that. Like after
Net.
paying everyone, after paying I do a lot of marketing, so probably end up with 1.75, more or less.
But are you happy?
So about $1.5 million?
Yeah, that will be my net coming to me. Yeah.
Well, okay. Okay. I was just wondering, how do you feed a family on $1.5 million?
It's a struggle, but he works at it. It's a struggle.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
We're next week we're starting how to live on $1.5 million and being
Yes.
okay with it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yep.
Thanks, Kamal. Good question. All right, let's give Eddie a big hand here. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Excellent.
Fantastic. Eddie, thank you. We put in there how to order the book. It's a great read. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to pass on to your children. What we do now, Eddie, and you're welcome to stay around, is we just take a few minutes and kind of go around the room and ask people what they learned, what they got out of this talk. So you're welcome to hang with us, or I understand if you need to go for a hard stop.
I have to hop onto my other call, Neil, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Kill
Thank
it.
you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. You be well. Okay. What did we learn from Mr. Oberoi?
Well, one of
I
the
like
main
hearing
things,
that those skill sets that we do in the mornings, he keeps at it. I like that.
That's Angel. That's what he's doing, baby.
Yeah, I like it, man. Yeah, I'm gonna jump in more of those obstacle handling scenarios.
Good. Excellent. Who else jumped in just now? Kamal, was that you?
yeah, I like how he said he was making 50 to 80 contacts a day, but he was focused on the appointments rather than the contacts, because when you focus on the contacts, after they answer the phone and you ask a couple questions, you hit your goal. But when you focus on the appointment, your goal's not met yet, so you're more likely to close more. You know what I mean? So I thought that was very good how he said that.
Good. Excellent. What else
Yeah,
did we learn today?
Yeah.
Jump in.
90% is mindset.
Yeah, 90% is mindset, you guys. Absolutely. Just 1 second. Come on. Don't minimize mindset. Don't minimize that. That is so critical. And if you're having trouble with your mindset, go on YouTube, listen to some of those top things. I send stuff out all day long. Robert sends stuff out all day long. There's there's just stuff out there. Connect with it. Let it put a smile on your face. Sorry, Kamal, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, when he said the 3 things: mindset, skills, and routine. I mean, I thought that was. I mean, if they just learn those 3 things combined with hard work and desire, there's no reason why everybody shouldn't be a millionaire.
That's right. I agree. The only reason that people aren't millionaires is because they don't do it. They think there's a shortcut. There is no shortcut. Betty S. Did you have your hand up? Sorry.
No, my hand wasn't up. But I like the analogy about working out, how you can kind of start off out of shape, and as you practice, eventually you develop and you become much better and kind of healthy with.
I agree with that. That's the first time I ever heard it said that simply.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bottom line. Every one of us would agree that if we do what we're supposed to do on the weight and physical, assuming that we have, we have that ability to do that, then you're going to look pretty damn terrific in 6 months, period.
Yeah. See, you're cursing too. I noticed Eddie cursed a lot. I stopped counting at about 7 and I was late. I wonder if he is that loose with his clients. Do you think so? Does it depend on
I
the
actually
customer?
don't know, but I made a note
Yeah.
to actually call him and talk to him about that.
He even dropped the F-bomb like 3
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I understand. I get it. I think we
Warning,
can
if you listen to David Goggins, expect a
Yeah.
lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't offended. I was just
read that
wondering if
book.
that's just depends on your
I
customer.
think I don't think it's a pendulum. But I think I think it's an interesting addition.
It was different.
Yeah, exactly.
Anthony Robbins drops a lot of F-bombs too sometimes.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah, he
See, I
adapts
don't-
himself to his client just to kind of snap them out of their rattle their cage a little bit. Because if they're too what's the word, like complacent, he does something to kind of snap them out of it and get their attention.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Neil,
Mike Ferry does it with Judy.
couple
Go ahead.
takeaways.
Go ahead.
So one is I wrote down the word intention. He is very intentional on everything he's doing, from the books he's reading, the activities he's doing, he wakes up and I've got an intention every single day. Like there is nothing that he just does just to do. Everything has intention. So what I wrote down underneath the point, it reminded me of the Zig Ziglar quote of, are you going to work today because that's what you did yesterday? And so every day you got to wake up. What is your intention for the day? What are you trying to accomplish? What is your goal for the day? So that was one. And number two, Neil, you and I have been talking a lot about, especially in the last couple months, of no matter what, right? Instead of focusing on, well, this is the activities you got to do. It's like, well, no matter what, you got to get it done. And he has that mentality. He said it in his affirmations. But he also said that in his prospecting, is that he was like, I wasn't feeling good when I just made my contact goal. I still needed the result. So it was no matter what, I just have to get it done. So I think more people should take on that mentality of the no matter what. We agree.
Hey, great stuff, Robert. Excellent. I do recommend the book. I was just kind of cruising through it again here, and it's a really easy read. There's only 132 pages in this thing. The type is really big, and there's a bunch of pictures. It's perfect for me.
Sounds like I would like that book.
Yeah, Armin, this is right up our alley, man. This is
I
great.
did listen to the David Goggins book. It's a very, very good book. He does cuss a lot, but it's a great, great book.
Good to hear. All right, everyone. Who's up next for prospecting?